Welcome back to Mud Lake Ranch. Today we're here with a new muzzleloader from CVA. This is the CVA Endura LRH, or Long Range Hunter. The CVA Endura is the most technologically advanced muzzleloader from CVA. It's the only muzzleloader from CVA that is available to fire smokeless powder, certain smokeless powders. Check your owner's manual. There are a couple of recommended powders that you can use in this gun, but I've opted for the Blackhorn 209, and because of its scarcity or inavailability during hunting season, CVA also tested this with smokeless, and a couple of them are available as recommended, allowing you to run higher pressure, higher velocity muzzleloader rounds to be able to take down game at long range, hence the Long Range Hunter name. This muzzleloader might look a little different to you because it does have a bolt action, and this bolt action is based off the Remington Model 700 short action. So the trigger group is interchangeable. If you want to upgrade or swap it out for a Remington compatible trigger, you can. It also accepts Remington 700 optics plates, and I've opted for a Picatinny mount in the Remington 700 footprint there. So why does it have a bolt action? This patent pending bolt face has 5 magnets in it that capture and install the VariFlame ignition system. The VariFlame ignition system is something exciting and interesting. It runs on rifle primers, large rifle primers, and you actually kind of build them. I'll do a video on how to assemble the VariFlame ignition system. They're just like your 209 primers, but using large rifle primers, but they're in their own little case. The gun has a chassis system in it to allow for more rigidity for longer range hunting, and this gun is no slouch, weighing in at 10.25 pounds, but if you scroll to the bottom of the page, the specs say it weighs 10.75 pounds. And when you're running an optic on it, a scope for long range hunting, you are increasing that weight significantly. Its scopes aren't light. The optics mount is not included, so that's additional weight. And the 2-port brake that we have up in front of this gun is also from CVA, and that's adding a bit of weight. The barrel in this gun is a 26-inch Bergara barrel, and it is fluted. It is nitride treated. The barrel and the receiver are also Cerakoted, offering you additional protection against the elements. Keep forgetting that's not a thing. So it pulls the little bolt thing right out there. So we're sighting this gun in at 30 yards, not sighting it in, getting our initial 0 because I don't want to waste a lot of this ammunition. bullseye. All right, we talked about the things that make the Endura different. Let's talk about some of the things that it has in common with other, I guess, rifles. This has a 2 to 4 pound adjustable trigger, user adjustable trigger, and it is extremely crisp. My first impression shooting this muzzleloader was, that's not a muzzleloader. This thing shoots just like a rifle, and that's thanks to this specifically engineered barrel to allow for these higher velocities. In combination with these higher charges, we're able to execute super quick ignition and super high velocity. It just has that rifle feel, unlike a traditional muzzleloader where you might get a click pow or a slight delay, or you'll get that minuscule delay between the ignition and shot. It's just rip, it's gone. It's pretty wicked. So anyway, this stock very, 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 very similar to the Acura, which I have and have done a video on. You should check that one out. It's got the same pattern. The design of the stock is a black tungsten spider web, and I like that. I absolutely love it a lot. It has a vertical grip to allow for better accuracy on the range and in the field. It has an adjustable cheek riser as well as your adjustable plates for length of pull. You can adjust this thing to fit the shooter, to match your optic. Then you have a rifle that it's accurate at extremely long ranges. The gun has QD cups on the right and the left side in the front, as well as the right and left side in the rear. So you can ambidextrously carry this depending on what sling configuration you'd like to use. Up in front of the stock here, you have 2 sling post mounts in addition to your QD mounts. This is to allow for the placement of a bipod, as well as your sling, and then a sling post to the rear as well. The butt pad is a CVA branded butt pad, and as you can see, this thing is very, very, very forgiving and squishy. And I like a nice soft butt pad to minimize the felt recoil on your shoulder. The bolt action, which is my first opportunity to run a bolt action in a muzzleloader, doesn't actually add or remove any kind of munitions. You're still loading from the barrel. You're dropping your powder in, dropping your pellet in. The bolt action allows you to easily add or remove the Veriflames from your breech plug, but they do offer ample space so that if you need to remove or install the Veriflame, which are just like your 209 primers, a little spicier, you can install those yourself through the chamber here, which is wide enough to accommodate most people's fingers, and including mine. So you can either add them to the front of the magnetized bolt face and install them that way. Usually, I have not experienced a stuck one. So far, the 5 magnets have pulled them out, but if one gets stuck, there is a tool to remove the Veriflame adapter from the breech plug. Breech plug is easily accessible just by removing the bolt. To remove the bolt, just simply pushing the button, operate the bolt handle, the bolt comes out, and that's how you would access your breech plug. To remove the breech plug, simply use the provided tool and handle to unscrew the breech plug from the back of the receiver here. You will have to lower your cheek riser if it's elevated beyond center of your barrel, and then your breech plug will come out, making it very easy to clean your muzzleloader. This makes it easier to install or remove your Veriflame adapter, which is the upgrade from your standard 209 primers. The bolt, when locked, keeps the primer or Veriflame adapter from being the pressure pushing it back towards the shooter, much like the brake action of your standard CVA muzzleloaders, where the gun breaks open and locks in place and prevents the 209 primer from going backwards. This allows them to have a long-range rifle stock without having a brake action. So you have a really stable, rock-solid platform for your long-range shooting. We covered all the cosmetic features of this gun. Up top, we have a Hawk optic. This is the Endurance 30 FD. This is a 3 to 18 by 50. This is an excellent long-range rifle scope, and it features an illuminated reticle at the very point of impact. Not the entire crosshair, but just your center point of the optic is illuminated, and that is a push button design on the left side of the scope. It does have parallax adjustment. It does have snap open to adjust turrets on both the windage and the elevation, and it has a throw lever on the magnification adjustment. This thing magnified to 18 is a very powerful magnification, allowing you to reach out at extremely long range. This gun, when tested by CVA, was achieving targets at 600 yards, and here I only have up to 250 yards. I'm going to attempt 250. First, we're going to get it zeroed at 100. We've done a 30-yard zero. We have it locked in there. I think I need to raise it a little bit more before we go to 100 because I don't want to be wasting a lot of this Blackhorn powder. It's a scarce, hard to get powder, and when you do have it, you don't want to waste it because it's a considerable investment for your hunting. RCBS was kind enough to send along the Blackhorn 209, so thank you to RCBS, thank you to Hawk Optics, thank you to CVA for sending the rifle, the dual port muzzle brake, as well as sending along the Remington 700 Picatinny rail to top this thing so we could run this scope and get this review off the ground. I need to add a sling to finish up my hunting outfit for this, but I think this gun, given its weight, is more better suited in a tripod situation like this. And this tripod is from Sunway Photo. They sent this out to the channel for use in these videos and for me to hunt with. It's a pretty cool unit here. It actually has Picatinny rail mounts on the left side. It has very precise adjustments, and it's like a little globe. You loosen this a little bit and you can make minuscule adjustments with this, and it's silent. You can't hear that at all. It has a few more adjustments than the Bog Death Grip that I also use. No not knocking Bog, but this one has a few more features, and it also carries a slightly higher price tag. Very precise elevation adjustments for this thing, as well as your pivots, and it has an additional elevation adjustment at the center post, so you don't have to always adjust the legs. You can adjust the height of just the center, which allows you to get a quick elevation adjustment without having to adjust 3 whole legs. Let's get out and shoot this thing a little bit more. Let's see if we can get her dialed in at 100 and beyond. A couple things that are really cool that come in this kit. So the little pouch has a 50 cal brush, your funnel for your black powder, a cleaning jag, and oh, I had another speed load in there I lost. I bought these separately, the Buckhorn or Blackhorn 209 and your rifle powder that is acceptable for this gun should be measured by weight, not by volume. But if you're not too critical or too picky like I am, I measured them all to be around 150 by volume, and I did dump it into the scale, my RCBS scale, to make sure it was really close, and they're all very close. You can get them down right to the exact grain weight, kind of like your bullets, so you can achieve very consistent accuracy out of these guns. So yeah, consider getting a powder scale if you decide to move to the powders that can operate this type of muzzleloader or reloading. It does come with a conical brass jag for the ELR bullets, but one of my favorite things that this comes with is this collapsible ramrod. And this ramrod, this one folds up so small that you can literally put it in your pocket. And then you have a portable ramrod. And now, why do I need a portable ramrod? This doesn't have a ramrod mounted under barrel like most guns, because a free float barrel will let you achieve higher accuracy at longer distance. So this is a great trade-off. It does come with a fixed rod that does not fit on the barrel, obviously, that you can use at your loading bench or your cleaning bench, so you have the appropriate tools. We've covered the VariFlame system. I will show you guys how to load these VariFlames in a different video linked in the description and in the pinned comment. So this little magnetic tool here lets you apply your VariFlame adapters without having to handle them and try to fit your fingers in there. So little magnet, boop, get them in there, and you can take it out with this too if for some reason this bolt doesn't retrieve them. And this is the tool to remove your breech plug, and that also goes in this longer pouch that accommodates your rod for travel. I brought a spotting scope out for once because I get winded walking 100 yards, 200 yards, 200 yards round trip over and over and over and over again. So now we're going to get some longer range shooting in, and I don't want to have to walk down there over and over and over and over because people are picking on me for being fat. So one of the advantages of this type of muzzleloader is that when you're using the Blackhorn 209 or the smokeless powder is one, lot less smoke or no smoke. If you hadn't noticed on previous videos or shots using this gun, that there's not the giant smoke plume or any noticeable smoke plume at all, and they'll run a lot cleaner. Disadvantages, maybe that you have to make your Veriflame adapters, but if you're any kind of hobbyist or reloader, it's kind of fun. They do run a lot cleaner than your standard muzzleloaders. There's no way I would have got this many shots off, and higher velocity, higher accuracy. You're running higher amounts of powder for more velocity, and you're running a much sharper rifle primer that's really igniting that powder quickly, thanks to the Veriflame adapters that you get to build yourself. It's pretty cool. All right, so accuracy wise so far, dead on at 30, put me 4-ish inches high at 100. Second shot, high maybe an inch further right. I lowered it, so we've backed it down a whisker. I'm gonna take one at 100. And then I need to probably get into Google because I don't know what this drops at 200. The magnification on this Hawk optic is out of this world. It's better than the spotting scope I have next to me. Dead nuts. I made the right calculation. Now, how much do you think it's going to drop? I had originally a 4-inch rise at 100, so I know it's rising at 100. So now you can guess I'm probably 2 or 3 inches low at 30. I don't know. We'll get it loaded up and see what we find out. I only got 2 speed loads left. I do have 3 Veriflames left, but I'd have to go back to the house to get some buckhorn. So we're gonna try getting it on paper at 200. That should give us an idea of what our drop is. All right, so as far as speed of reloading when you're dealing with this powder and Veriflames and magnets, it is definitely a little slower than your pellets because you got multiple pieces of equipment you're dealing with. And once, just like now, I have static, and the Blackhorn 209 is sticking to the tube. So you got to pay attention to that, or that will change your weight. I'm not sure where the static came from, but it's there. One time, I'm not sure if you observed it or not, I might have cut it, but I had an issue loading the power belt, and the reason was there was powder, that static, that stuck it to the side of the barrel. Get 2 more shots. We're dead on at 100, which is fantastic news. Still loading super easy. This is incredible for a muzzleloader. Okay. So magnet. So the Veriflames are easy to build, but that blood blister right there, when you stack this little thing to build them, I had my finger slightly above the edge and I wailed it. That hurt like crazy. So that's that ugly spot on my finger if you hadn't noticed it already. Two more shots. This one we're going for 200. How exciting! What a cool gun. So when I threw up this 30-yard target right before we shot today, and let me tell you what, it couldn't have been any closer. It's right on the left leg of the 200-yard target. So there's 30, 100, 200. You probably can't even see it. I got it on 0.5 magnification. I need more elevation. Whew. Oh. Yeah, just like normal hunting situations, right? There it is. I gotta invest in a scope cam because you would find this really interesting. When you're acquiring targets, those signs I have on the tops really do help know you're aiming at the right thing. The cheek riser knocked my ear pro off, so I got a lot. So I got a lot of the noise in that one, but I hit. Man, I hit good. I'm left 2 inches, up 1 inch. I mean, I'm almost in the 10 ring on that one. I think I'm gonna shoot at 100 for my last shot just because I want to just double check that one. But this thing's been awesome. Really amazing shooting this muzzleloader. Definitely an upgrade from your budget muzzleloaders. Definitely an upgrade from black powder exclusive muzzleloaders. No plume. You notice no plume? No white smoke. I'm not choking to death on sulfur. Awesome. Show you the static that's holding the powder in this thing. So you got to pay attention to that. I can tap it a little bit to get in there, and it was sticking to the funnel as well. So, okay, final shot, then final thoughts. Unbelievable, we're still loading that easily. All right, last round. Last round for today anyway. This is a pleasurable experience. I like this. All right. I wasn't expecting that. Luckily I got one more. I mean, safety doesn't do shit of this, minus keep me from pulling the trigger. So that's the first one I've had not shoot. I can't imagine why. Okay. Well, it'll make for interesting content anyway. Don't lose your parts, Jared. Dead center, 2 inches high. I'm not unhappy. That's at 100 yards, that's a dead deer. We already saw what it did at 200. Time to wrap it up. Final thoughts on the CVA Endura. Excellent build, familiar stock and platform, which will make this, I don't know, highly adaptable for the average hunter. But building your own Veriflames, switching me, I had to switch from using pellets to powder, and I do like the powder after running it. So if I can get my hands on enough of it, I'll run it my other muzzleloaders as well. This is, in my opinion, a great gun for a field edge, a box blind, or anywhere that you can run off of a tripod, bipod. Something stable, like a window out of a box blind is ideal. Somewhere, I wouldn't want to carry this if you're like going up into the mountains. You're going to want to be on a horse. You're not going to want to walk with it. You're going to want to have a guided hunt on horseback, because the additional weight of this is considerable. I think, I don't have the exact weights, but I'll put it up on the screen. The CVA Wolf's weight, the CVA Optima's weight, and the CVA Endura weight. And I'm guessing the CVA Endura probably weighs close to double, at least 30% more than the lightest version of the Wolf or Optima. It's a thug. It's a heavy gun, and it has to be to accommodate that extreme pressure that this thing is shooting. The velocity and the accuracy are great trade-offs when you're talking about this weight, because if you need to reach out to tag out, this is the muzzleloader that you want to pick up. Thank you for watching this video on the CVA Endura 45 caliber muzzleloading rifle. This thing was absolutely fantastic. If you found this video useful, helpful, or interesting, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe.